Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never stop recording.
Welcome to the Clark 5 podcast. This is our initial podcast, first one. Yay. We're here.
Yes.
Travis, lead designer at Clark 5, and I got Zeth over here, our web strategist, and our first guest, Lyndon from Anion Outdoors. And we're going to talk about his monthly program, training, and some cool products he's coming out, fiber bars, and the Only Pack.
So thank you, Lyndon, for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, so when I first met you had so
worries.
much interesting information. You, like from day one, it could list like 15 articles about the whys for everything that you were doing.
There's still a lot of content.
A lot of content there. So it was super interesting. That's when I first thought about this podcast, and I thought, this would be great to sit down with you, pick your brain about why you do what you do. But I guess maybe we should talk first about your background. Like, what brought you to where you're at now? Like, how did you get to the training, to the hunting, to the Anion hat that you have on?
I almost feel, it almost feels just like somehow the stars lined up for all these like exposures, because I didn't know that I wanted to dive into anything health related out of high school, because I don't know, I just didn't I knew I liked hunting, like that was my thing, surfing, but I didn't know I wanted to do exercise related stuff. So I went like undeclared at Oregon State for like first year. Then like
I did too.
Then like a year and a half business, and I'm like, I like entrepreneurship, but I wasn't. The rest of it wasn't making me excited. And then I got exposure to my brother, who is competing for the CrossFit Games, like on ESPN and stuff.
Oh wow!
And he's like, hey, I want you to come up and do a workout. And introduce you to this thing called CrossFit. So I went up there, got destroyed by a whole bunch of people that were like double my age.
Yeah.
And my buddy who was
They're jumping on like 4-foot boxes.
Oh god, I just got so wrecked. And it's actually filmed. Very first workout I ever did, filmed the whole thing. It's like 30 minutes long.
That's perfect.
It was so bad. My brother like destroys me, sets like a world record, all this stuff.
Holy cow.
Anyways, my buddy who's playing basketball at Portland State joins us, and even he's like just jacked up. It's a whole different world, right? So I get that, and I'm like, that was crazy. Like, that's kind of cool. And then I started doing it in Corvallis because he has a friend that's in Corvallis that's on his team for CrossFit.
You started just doing CrossFit?
Yeah, kind of. I did a lot more strength training because I didn't touch a weight till I was 21. Like, never touched one in high school.
Really?
There was, maybe it just wasn't said the way I needed to be told.
Did you play sports?
Yeah, soccer. I almost played at Linfield or Willamette for soccer.
Really?
That's surprising then.
Yeah, almost. We were talking to the Willamette coaches and stuff, but the commitment for a full summer was too much. Like, it was taking away from things I really wanted to do. So that's why I didn't do
just
that.
Just naturally athletic.
It was soccer.
Must be nice.
Soccer, track. I don't know about natural, but soccer, track, and then cross country. Soccer came pretty good to me. Like, I was doing that since I was like 3, all around stuff.
I was the captain of my basketball team in 4th grade, and that was about the end of my career.
You got really tall, didn't you?
I was the best on the team by far. I was the best shooter. Everybody looked to me. I won everything that we ever played. And then before high school, somewhere between middle school and high school, I was suddenly the smallest guy. It was like I went from tall, I could shoot better than everybody, and then it was suddenly I'm like 5'6", and everybody else is 6 foot. I'm like, what's going on here? I tried out for basketball my freshman year, and they were like JV2 at best, like ever. You know what I mean? Like that's as good as you're gonna do being the size that you are. So I gave up and just started doing cross country.
I did cross country. Cross country
and I was
so hard.
Yeah, and I was much better at that though. Like just running was so much easier. I could just get in tune with that and breathe.
Yeah. I did cross country too, literally to help with soccer.
Really? Yeah, that makes sense because you're running so far.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And I wasn't like a star or anything. I was just like decent. Yeah. I was like okay, and then did track and cross country. But anyways, that's why I chose. Literally, it was between Oregon State and Oregon, and the only reason I chose Oregon State was because of Corvallis, the town.
Because they're better.
Yeah, and Oregon State's a better school.
I literally liked Corvallis more. It felt smaller to me, and like sort of transportation, like it was easier for me to navigate. And that's the only reason I chose Oregon State. because I didn't have a degree in mind.
Yeah.
So anyways, 2 years of business, or a year and a half basically, maybe not even that far. And then I switched to kinesiology, and that was after I got exposed to CrossFit. And I was super excited about that. I actually applied to a gym in Corvallis. They shut down a week later. Like, what are the chances of that? So the owner that I had applied to is like, hey, I might be able to get you a job in Albany at a gym called CrossFit R3.
Yep. Yep.
And he's like, I'll keep you updated, but we're going to look for a position. Well, I had just got a certification for CrossFit. Like, after I had done a few workouts, I'm like, this is sweet. I want to do the certification. So then I did one. Anyways, I went over there for an interview. I interned there for like 5 months, just watching classes at the R3 thing. And then they had an opening and then took it.
So you went from like this CrossFit lifestyle. I'm curious how that transitions to Anion. You got it. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say it's a conventional path.
Yeah.
To getting to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But it's interesting reflecting back because I feel at Oregon State, I feel like there was multiple times we tried to start something, but it didn't work.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, that
reflecting
happens
back,
a lot.
and I just thought about that a few weeks ago when I was sitting down with Riley. I was like, you know what? When I think back, my sophomore year and freshman year in the dorms, we were like trying to come up with ideas and trying to run with it, and they failed. Mm-hmm. So, like, in terms of failure, it sounds like, oh, you had all these great things happen. I failed so many, like, thousands more times than succeeded.
I think that part's super important to the process. I remember one of the first things that I did when I was young was I decided I was going to do a Nintendo magazine. Just to give tips and tricks back when we were first playing video games. I mean, back in the 80s, because that didn't exist yet. Of course, it did shortly thereafter, Nintendo magazine and all that type of stuff. But we started those, we'd write our own and try to sell them around the neighborhood. And I thought that was super fun at the time. But now I realize it's kind of like there's a certain type of person that does that kind of thing just for fun to figure it out. So, yeah, you have so many things up front where you fail. It's not really failing, though. I think what it is it's exercising that concept of coming up with an idea and then trying to see it through to something. That's generally the hardest part, is like idea and then execution.
Which is a huge combo of like perspective and humility, because how much humility do you get from that?
Yeah, so a lot. Because when you're first executing that first time, you realize there's so much more, like we were talking about earlier, sales. Unless you do a bunch of sales, it's suddenly super daunting. Right? Because you think, oh, I'm not a salesperson. Yes, you are. If you have an idea and a product, you're now a salesperson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whether
are you a distributor? Are you the guy that does the visuals? Do you do the marketing? Maybe do all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of them specifically, our idea was literally to come up with a website where you would type in the ingredients of anything you had in your house, and it would turn out a meal for you.
See, that's still a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, here's the thing: is we start
anybody listening
together,
to this, don't.
I'll
cut it out.
Well, the thing is we start doing it, and literally like a month later, someone made it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like super good. Like went on, I'm like, this is really good, and this is exactly what we were trying to do.
So you've got gear on and everything.
Just a little.
Like
this is all I have.
Decked out.
He's head to toe.
Well, your
Anion
truck
right now.
and like.
My truck, I got a little sticker. Yeah.
And you got the
My
Anion
fiance's
socks.
mom got that for
and
me.
he's got.
I don't have any Anion socks.
He's got this fancy ass website. This awesome website.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Well, that's part of my design right there.
I would say
that's
website.
full credit for you guys.
So,
you guys are crushing it.
I'm curious. Tell me if if someone was brand new to you and was like, what's Anion? Tell me how you would describe it to them.
What's Anion? It's a program. It's a brand. Actually, I want to go with brand. It's a brand that's trying to put longevity on a pedestal for people trying to continue doing their outdoor activities for a long period of time. Okay. So people that go let's say hiking, that's their thing. And they don't put longevity on a pedestal, meaning they don't focus on specific factors that influence their health. Mm-hmm. If they don't worry about that, maybe at 68, they can't hike anymore. Mm. And I'm trying to bridge the gap and say, hey, we should look at longevity. What kind of factors go into that allow me, instead of being done at 68, now I can go to 87. Mm. An extra 20 years of doing what you like.
Right.
That's appealing to me. So that's kind of, it's merging science and outdoors. So all the things that comprise to make longevity, I'm trying to introduce that and say, hey, you should try these. if you want to continue doing what you like without health limitations. Because it sucks when you have a health limitation and then you can't do your hobby outside.
Yeah, right.
Right? So I'm trying to bridge that gap.
Okay. And you're doing it with what things?
The main foundation is nutrition. I just feel like that's not looked at. Like when people hear longevity and then they hear like outdoor activities, a lot of the times it's like, oh, you're building workouts for them. Mm-hmm. And workouts is like almost at the bottom of the totem pole. Like I'm not too focused on that because there's so many other factors.
Yeah, you always hear about diet and exercise. Like the most important thing is what you eat. Like that's you got to work that out, get that in place before you ever start lifting weights or doing foundation. Whatever. Yeah, because then you lift weights and you're that guy who's like beefy but also has a gut.
Yeah.
What's
so I'm trying to promote that. I'm trying to promote nutrition as a foundation, and then you have like sleep and all these, and like relationships with others, like that plays a role, and all these other things.
Sure.
So exercise, it's great. It's just not the pinnacle of what we're focused on.
Okay.
So if that gives it a little bit of insight with that.
Yeah.
So that monthly stuff that we give out, our monthly content that you get it's a different topic. So they get 4 documents, and each one's, so you have always a nutritional topic. There's always going to be some workouts at home for people that are super busy. Mm-hmm. So super low key, like less than 30 minutes. Like just get a little bit of blood flow. Good to go. Okay, then you have this breathing workout where it's like you go through these breathing routines, which help lower stress, increase cognitive abilities, all these great things. And then our last one's bonus, and it changes each month. So the first month example is sleep. Everyone knows like 7 to 9 hours of sleep, but I dive into like why. Like, do you want to lower chances of Alzheimer's? Stuff like that, right? So I dive into that, and then below each document, not only just like the sleeping stuff, but also workouts, I have references from PubMed, so that's peer-reviewed literature, and it shows where everything's coming from.
You're not just pulling it out of thin air.
Yeah, so I put my references, and then I'm like, hey, references plus experience, that's what I'm putting. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you wrap that all together, this is part of your monthly subscription, right?
Yeah. And
every month the topic changes.
Everything changes. The workouts, like if you sign up for a full year, you're getting 300, whatever, 20 times 12. Mm-hmm. That's how many different workouts you're getting.
Wow.
It's a nutritional topic that changes each month. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be able to write 50 years worth. Like there's that many things you could talk about nutrition-wise. Like the first month is time restricted eating, which I feel like is a huge advantage for a lot of people. They just don't know where it is yet.
Time restrictive eating.
Yeah, so it's a time period eating. So you choose. So it's all based off when you start your first meal and when your last meal is.
Okay.
And whatever amount of time that is, that's your hour of eating. Mm. So an example is like my first meal is at 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. My last one's at 7:30.
Okay.
So that would be how many hours total? 8.5. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm eating within an 8.5 hour period. And a lot of the science says that if you're eating like over 11, 12, 13, 14 hour periods, that like you store fat better, disease rates go up, all these kind of crazy things. Because when you're in a smaller period, then the time that you're not eating, your body regenerates and it can recover. Because when you feed, you can't recover. So there's a whole article I put on time restricted eating. I've been doing it since last September and I'll never go back. And that's what I put my fiance's dad on too, that case study that's on the site.
Yeah, which by the way, you should go check out on the website. It's pretty amazing, the before and afters.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I've had some people look at it. It's crazy cool. It's like that arrow you put on there is so awesome. Yeah. That you can drag.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people
you can
that
drag
like,
it back
really
and
cool.
forth, and it's like it's pretty amazing. To me, I look at that picture and it says like that's everything about the longevity and all of that. You can tell the difference. He looks healthier. He looks stronger. He looks happier.
And that's
everything.
You know what's funny about that is it's like 90% nutrition based. I told him not even to work out in the beginning because sometimes when you give
able to draw pills, right? That he was taking medication.
Sometimes when you give like someone, they're like, "Hey, I want to make some changes," and you're like, "Okay, do these 5 things." Sometimes 5 is like just too overwhelming. And I was like, "Hey, let's just do one thing. Like, just try and eat good whole foods, high fiber, which we can go into later." And then try and eat like in a smaller time frame. Don't eat super late at night. I was just trying to minimize the time frame. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what about working out? I'm like, don't even work out till a month before you all cunning. I'm like, don't even worry about it. And he just started shedding. But he was consistent too. Mm-hmm. And be consistent like as in yeah, he had a piece of pie every once in a while. Because I told him like 80-20. 80% of the time each week. So like each week, 80% of your meals is good. 20% you have some leniency. So if you eat 3 a day, that's 17 good ones and 4 that you kind of do whatever you want. That's pretty manageable.
That's totally manageable.
That's a meal Monday through Thursday that you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically,
that's
17 divided by 21.
For most people, too, that's all they need, it seems like. You know what I mean? If you just have that one little outlet where you know that you're going to have the opportunity to eat something that you want to eat, then it gives you that strength to be able to say the rest of the week, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do.
And that's exactly what we saw.
Have you ever seen the Rock on Instagram? He's got a cheat day that he does.
Just get crazy.
It's like...
I bet.
It's insane. He'll get like 4 or 5 meals of sushi at once, and then he eats like chocolate chip cookies, these giant chocolate chip cookies, and tequila. He likes tequila a lot.
Gosh.
And it's just that one day, though, that one meal, and he just knows it. He waits for it, and then he's like, yes, okay, this is the one meal where we're just going to kill it. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
Until he just focuses in on the rest of the time he spends his time.
It takes some discipline to do that.
Cool. Stay into it, yeah.
But it's interesting how it changed. His behaviors changed because originally it was kind of tough. It was like, oh, I only get like a few meals each week. It was really tough. Mm-hmm. And then by like September, sometimes he just didn't have a cheat meal.
He's just like, it's part of my...
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is special.
Like you're seeing the benefits from it.
But then like it's leniency, right? Because then he would go like on a weekend getaway or whatever, and it's like, hey, you're going to be eating out? Like, do that. Go, like, that's fine. You don't have to be, like, so restrictive you can't eat at a restaurant. Yeah. Like, get what you want at the restaurant. When you come back, then revamp. So, it wasn't like I was so strict that he couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Like, I was just trying to give him enough wiggle room. But it was cool to see that, for sure. I mean, that's life-changing. To get off some pills, but to be able to, like, actually hike and not be, like, messed up. Because he did it for elk hunting. That was the driving force for his elk hunting trip.
Right. And when you lose those things that you've been doing your whole life that are a big part of your life, that's devastating for people. So that's really cool.
God,
You're helping people maintain their lifestyle, their happiness. Yeah. That's really cool.
There's a lot of cool things you get from it that just I don't think I'm promoting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's
I'm like, hey, outdoor activity. I want you to keep doing that. But I don't ever say like, hey, it's going to improve happiness, your stress. Like, I never say that because it just comes with it.
Yeah.
It's also you're going to be a better climber, and you're going to be a better hunter, and you're going to be all those. Your performance is going to be better than it was before. But it's interesting that that's not even the thrust of what you're saying there.
Yeah, I'm a person.
It's like the performance is just comes with it. It just comes with it. It's
Yeah.
almost like the longevity and all of that is number one.
That's what I'm trying.
Make it manageable so that somebody can actually do it, and that's great. I love it.
I'm just trying to go down a different avenue.
Okay, so that's that monthly subscription.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Where does someone learn about that? If someone was interested in that monthly subscription, where would they go to learn more?
AnionOutdoors.com, and then you'd click on the tab Preparation Program. And once you get on that, then you would see a little description of each kind of topic of what you're getting. It shows actually a full year layout plan, which is cool because you can kind of see ahead of time.
And then, before you ever buy it?
Yeah, before you buy it. It's like, oh, what's the full year look like? Boom, there's all your topics. And it just shows it structurally, and it also says it comes... Once you sign up for that, you can get like a monthly Facebook Q&A live. I don't have the first date yet, but I will.
Oh, that is cool.
That's why I need a few things to be finished by Christmas, and then I'll get the first one, which is going to be in January. Mm-hmm. And I don't have it structured like, hey, this is the things I'm going to cover. It's like, ask whatever, and I'll see what I can do.
Mm. So like on your Facebook page, you're going to go live, or is it a one-on-one chat?
It'll be live for
everyone.
Yeah, for anyone. Yeah, for anyone. Yeah. Just like whatever you want to talk about. If you have questions on some of the content or any of that kind of thing, then ask away. Maybe I can get you guys some stuff. Maybe I can't. There's no guarantees. But I'll try my best and kind of go from there.
Yeah. In the world of what we do, when someone's got this product or idea that is really appealing to that social environment, like Facebook, and you can get a group of people that are interested in outdoor activities. A big piece of what you do is hunting, right? I've seen a lot of that on your Instagram and whatnot.
Yep.
So if you've got this group of hunters, enthusiasts, and they want to get better, they want to keep doing it, and you're helping them with that particular interest, it's so powerful on Facebook because That's what Facebook does. It finds people with similar interests, similar ideas, and it flocks them to you. That's in our world. That's going to be really powerful in your business. You might not be able to do those videos forever, one-on-one or like smaller groups, but then you can scale it. You can do like a live that hits thousands of people.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. If you ever seen Dr. Axe on Facebook, he started off with just a naturopathic type of doctor doing lives on gut health, and it just grew, and he just creates this big group around, a big following, and now that's all he did is go live and educate people, and they.
I'll have to reach out to that guy. He talks gut health.
Yeah, he does. DrAxe.com.
Yeah,
check that out.
Yeah,
guys could collab.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Anything gut health related.
If you meet him, I want to meet him too. So.
Cool.
But yeah, Facebook is a really good, I think, medium. And you do Instagram too a lot.
Yeah, I've been leveraging that a lot, and there's been a lot of good connections. I've reached out to some people, and they've got back, and they're following some of our stuff. Yeah. And there's some influencers, like, super pumped. Like, we don't have that many people following our Instagram. Yeah. Because I kind of just started it, but we have some people that I think could definitely get excited maybe about some of the stuff we have.
Partnerships are so powerful.
They really are. Because even though you've got like this really promising e-commerce thing, when you get a refined product, good packaging, clear message, you're going to be able, I think, very unique product, very, very like product that doesn't have a ton of competition. You're like in the middle, sweet spot, because you're appealing to a certain audience, and other bars go really broad. But anyways, I think you're fitting really well in like a wedge right into a spot of the market that could grow real fast on you. But there's also, you have to make these connections, these real world connections, because that's really good. What's going to put you in front of the right people. E-commerce is going to be able to scale that, but you got to get in front of the right people, and you're doing all the right things.
We'll see. Yeah. I'm new to the LinkedIn thing, but there's been some good things coming from it.
It's good. Keep reaching out. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about you. We've talked a little bit about the training preparation program side of it, the monthly stuff, which everybody should start doing if you're hunting or climbing or running or hiking or doing whatever. But then you also have the shop side of it. That's all your products that you're coming out with. So let's dive into that real quick.
That's a whole nother realm, yeah.
There's more?
Yeah, there's more from Anion. So what?
Okay.
So I'll give you a backstory. So if you look at online and if you look at the products, they all have the same first name in front of them. It all says only. So it says the 3 products are only bar, only pack, and then only light. Okay, here's where the story kind of came from, because it started with the bar and then the other products. The bar happened last hunting trip when I was in Eastern Oregon. There wasn't a bar that filled the needs of what I wanted, which was a little bit higher fiber, lower protein, higher fat, higher carbs. So different macros. There wasn't one that really fit what I wanted, specifically the fiber. So that's when we're like, maybe I'll just make one and just see what happens. So that was kind of like stirring up, right?
Literally.
That is cool.
I'm eating one right now. And it tastes delicious. It's crazy. It tastes delicious. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a bar. It's also like something else, though. Something really good.
Yeah, nutrients. For
nutrition.
For yourselves. It's great. I look at it and I think, like, I could just eat this just for fun. Like, not even when I'm out, doing the climb or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's just a great snack.
It's packed full of nutrients. I mean, that thing is packed.
Okay, so it's packed. What's it full of?
It's full of a whole bunch of different... So I could pull out like a sheet and show all the ingredients, which everyone will see on the nutrition facts label, FDA approved, all that. But the gist is we wanted to get a whole bunch of good sources that had somewhat decent fiber and then put that together because that was the main component. Why fiber? Because typically when you're on the outdoors, you don't get the best... I can't bring in 50 pounds of fruits and vegetables on our meals because for my hunting trip, we have like 6 horses, 8 meals. We're out for 2 weeks. There's no civilization for 50 miles. I can't bring in a whole bunch of vegetables because we're only allowed certain weight requirements. Yeah. So like I need fiber for your digest system, because if your digest system is not on point, then you have a plethora of issues. meaning like cognitive abilities start declining. You wake up feeling groggy. That 12 to 2 o'clock realm, you get super tired. That means your digestive system's not working properly. Components like that, like I wanted to eliminate, and fiber is what feeds the microbiome in your stomach. So the 3 trillion bacteria that are in your stomach, they feed on fiber. And there's 2 different types, soluble and insoluble, which we can get into, but the fiber is like specifically for that, and then all these great things happen, like energy accessibility increases, all this stuff. So that was the reason for the fiber. So we put some good sources in there, and then at the very end, we had it without that top layer, without the white chocolate.
Yeah, there's a white chocolate layer here that tastes incredible.
It was so without that, it was like it was okay.
It's still good.
Like it was good sources, but I'm like, man, it's got a lot of great things, but I still need it to be like palatable for a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's why we added just a little bit at the top.
Yeah, I like it with the chocolate, but it doesn't even need it. It really doesn't.
You don't think so?
I say go for it.
It's still good,
but I'm saying the base of it is still so good. The bars taste great. I've eaten a lot of those. I've eaten
What's
a
the
lot
flavor?
of bars.
Is there a flavor
Lemon.
associated?
Lemon?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's
Lemon.
a good. I can vouch for this.
And there's a plethora of great things with lemon. So yeah, it's kind of interesting with that. So I don't know exactly. We had some other ones developed too, but so far this has been the hit with everyone.
So is this like is it hitting on those like gluten free?
Yeah, it's gluten free.
Or is it
Organic.
Organic.
Yeah, good to go.
non-GMO.
Yeah.
That's the other one, non-GMO.
Yeah, good to go on that.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So, which is really appealing.
Yes.
So it definitely fit all the macros and the micros and all that kind of stuff that we wanted. So that's kind of the gist of that. We had another bar, but it just hasn't been a hit like this one has.
Okay, so this is the bar that we're talking about here, but then you have the hack.
Yeah, and
which
that
is
was
pureed food.
Yeah, and that was kind of so that's where the fruits and vegetables come in. So it's like now I get some fiber, which is great for my digestive system. So that's more like macro based. So macros like proteins, fats, carbs. Like that's got a good grouping of that. Okay, but that's micros, and then that's macronutrients, and then micronutrients is like minerals, vitamins. And the only way to get that out there without taking a multivitamin is fruits and vegetables. Well, like I said earlier, I can't pack all that in. So what we did is like fruit, vegetable purees. So in other terms, it's baby food that you've seen before, but instead of 3 ounces for babies, it's 6 ounces for adults. And we made our own combinations of certain vegetables.
Hopefully,
I wanted.
strawberry banana.
there might be one.
Every baby I've ever fed with that, I'm always like, that's the one that they should just make a big jug for adults.
Well, actually, it's funny.
Mix it into a smoothie
one
or something.
One of our best
I don't
ones
know.
has that, and it also has a 1.5 cups of kale.
Yeah.
And people that don't like kale, great option because you barely taste it. It has a 1.5 cups. And it's got lemon. So what we do is we use a base for each one. You'll see it's lemon because it preserves it for a long time without having to be in the refrigerator.
Okay.
So we have like 10 different recipes. And I tried to do as many different vegetables and fruits as possible. So like typically if you look at baby food, there's a lot that are reused. It'll be like broccoli with this, broccoli with that, you know what I mean? So I started coming up with ones that just aren't really mainstream but offer a lot of great things. And that definitely took some playing around with because there were some that tasted like dirt. Which like if I knew what's in it, I would probably do it, but I don't think most people have the mindset where I'm like, I'll eat it no matter what. So we had to tweak a few things. Like I'm super excited about one we have with bok choy.
Oh, nice.
Bok choy is like one of the top 10 most like nutritious vegetables.
Really?
That's not being leveraged whatsoever for like huge benefits, like lower tumor rates, stuff like that from the selenium in it. So there's like all these great things, and I just haven't seen any. So I put that in for one of those.
Great. Cool. So are these? They're like you could just throw them into a pack. Take them with it. They don't need to be kept cool.
No, they don't.
Or anything like that. You
just
let it sit there and then.
Yeah, it's got the lemon preserved in a little slurpy little thing. You know, it's just like a baby food except 6 ounces. Yeah. 3 ounces just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So we did 6. So those partnered with the bar, you got a good base.
Yeah, when you're away from camp, is that the idea? So when you're away from camp doing whatever that activity is in between meals or in supplement of a meal, like how are you using that?
Honestly, it could be in place of. But the main thing was like for snacks away from camp.
Yeah, if you're gonna head out and you want to go out all day and you want to still be able to perform at that level.
But honestly, like if I went on a week camping trip, I could theoretically just bring a whole bunch of bars in those, and I'd be like pretty good to go. I mean, those bars you'll be full for like 3 hours because it's so packed full of nutrients. That's the great thing about fiber. It takes a long time to digest, so you're not hungry thousands of times.
That's interesting.
People are gonna use it for weight loss too.
I was thinking about that.
Like that's a great thing with high fiber is like you're gonna burn a little bit more fuel. It just takes a long time because the bacteria in your stomach takes a long time to digest, so you won't have all these crazy hunger pains.
And this is a super unique take because your priority is fiber, not protein. Like
I'm like going the opposite path of protein.
Like protein, though, you can get from a number of different sources pretty easily. So this is like that missing component that you're gonna struggle to get when you're out there.
Yeah, and definitely I think protein might be pushed more for certain things, and energy-wise, like you don't need more protein. Like there's a small dose that you need for repairing, but for energy, like that's not a great source. That's why I'm going down to bath. Like we need some good fats, which that has good carbs, and it's got some fiber, and the protein's low. It's like 9 grams. I'm not worried about the protein. Like you'll get protein. Like there's a lot of other things we need to get way more of than the protein.
That's great.
So that's the path it's going down.
That's pretty neat.
So then you got to hydrate also.
That's exactly it. So what that is super simple. It's one ingredient. Pink Himalayan salt.
Why?
Let me tell you the backstory.
Yeah, what's the backstory?
Let me tell you the backstory on
pink
this.
Himalayan salt.
And now everyone's going to do it. I'm cool with that. But here's the backstory on that. So I also do strength conditioning for some of the sports programs at West Albany where I teach as well. So like football, I help with football, wrestling, and a little bit of volleyball, and then girls basketball now. For football, last year, we had multiple games, and I mean multiple, like 4 or 5 plus games, where we had 8 dudes cramping. That's on me. Like, that is on me right there. Like, I see 8 dudes cramping, and I'm like, I messed up in some way, of some form. So, of course, like, when something happens, you panic, you're like, gosh, how are we going to change this? So, I start looking from the outside, and they're like, yeah, we're drinking tons of water. And actually, someone were like, they were coming to my room showing me how much they were drinking. So I'm like, that's weird. They're drinking lots of water. And I'd have them take orange juice.
Dill pickle water.
Like, they were doing all these things.
I love.
And they would only do a little bit of that. But they would still get cramps. And dudes are like, I'm drinking all day, like, so much. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I got to look at this from the root. Like, they're having, like, almost a hyperatrium thing. So, like, they're holding on to a ton of water, but they're not having salt. And what are the literally 2 things that your muscles need? Salt and calcium to contract. And if you don't get those, they'll lock up. And that's where I'm like, oh, my God, like, we got to have more salt. Like, they're just pounding all this water and just, like, peeing their electrolytes out. So what did I do? I literally went to the store that night, bought a pink Himalayan salt grinder, stuck it on my classroom desk, and I had the football players come in all day, grab the salt grinder, do 2 grinds in their water, and you will know exactly on film what days that occurred. Because it was day 1 of this year where we had 5, next day 3, and then it was like 1 every 4 games or whatever. Like, it was just non-existent. And that was one thing I changed, and I brought salt in. Like, you have to have salt to absorb water.
Yeah.
So that's a misconception. You can actually, like, dehydrate yourself just drinking massive amounts of water and not having salt. Like, you literally need salt to function. So it's where the pink Himalayan salt came. Now here's kind of how it's distributed, how it's going to be. What's cool is, have you heard of Via packets?
Yeah.
Via?
Yeah, like the coffee,
Yeah,
right?
they're like little Starbucks packets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're basically taking that concept and then putting the salt in there.
Yeah.
So if you get like a box, you'll get like 30 of those little packets. So if you're hiking and you're like, hey, I got this water bottle, it's 8 ounces. Well, you'll have a little packet, rip it open. It's the perfect amount for an 8-ounce water bottle, pour it in there. It's not so much where you're like, oh, that's ocean water. Right? It's not that. It's just enough where it dissolves. And you get everything, and guess what? There's no sugar. It's one ingredient. Why pink Himalayan salt over other salts? It has like 84 trace minerals.
Yeah.
So it has potassium, has all that great stuff. Microdoses, less processed than sea salt, and all those other ones. So this is just a great alternative. So that's why.
That's cool.
So it'll be like little individual packets, super simple. But if someone wants to be hydrated without like all the extra sugars, there's your ticket.
You know, you need to get one of those Anion shirts like you have
don't
on
worry, I got
right
some
now,
ideas for salt.
and say, "Grind that salt" or something like that.
Grind that salt.
Salt grinders.
Get salty, yeah.
Get salty. I
Oh,
don't know.
that was the saying in
Yeah.
the hallways with the football players. All of them, you'd walk
Get
past them
salty.
like, "Get your salt on.
Get your salt.
Get salty." Yeah, they were saying
Crazy.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because then now I have students. I had some kids that aren't even in my class coming in, and they're like, "Oh, can I get some salt?" I was like, "Yeah, this is so weird."
You doing pre-sales at all?
I'm giving bars out right now.
Oh, you're doing okay.
I'm giving a lot out.
You could set up some pre-sales. I know how
Yeah,
to
I
do
mean,
that.
we have that, like I was saying, we have that spot to be notified to get onto some kind of list. We could do
Okay.
some kind of pre-sale thing where if you get onto that, you know, you're going to get some perk. You might get an Anion Get Salty shirt. You don't know.
Yeah.
You might get one. Who knows?
Yeah.
So far, that's been the hit. So we'll kind of see where it goes. Maybe we keep that white chocolate. Maybe we don't. The fiber stays the same.
Keep the white chocolate.
Yeah. That's not really good.
Yeah, that's great. Or have a version that has it and a version
And
that
a version
doesn't
that
or
doesn't, yeah.
something. Like for people that don't want that extra sweet on there. But
There's a lot of different
It's
ideas for
delicious.
bars. So now that we have a base, now we can really run with it.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of other great ones
Could
that
we
I want to
switch
do.
it up and do something that's a little bit spicy and make it the Clark 5 bar or something?
We can personalize
I want
them.
like a little
For sure.
cayenne pepper in there or something. You know what I mean? Like get a little bit of
little
spice
bite
going
to it,
on. Yeah,
huh?
get a little bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, we
There we
could
go.
probably do that.
Really cool. Anion's gonna be huge. This is gonna be massive.
No.
This guy just generates
Yes,
a
I would
don't
say
think
get on the
so.
ground floor. Try these fiber bars
Oh, God.
before they're in every single
Yeah.
store in America.
I'm gonna invest right now.
Try the Clark 5
Okay,
fiber bar.
guys.
It's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be
I don't
good.
think it's going to be that crazy, but it should be interesting to see where it goes.
Cool.
Yeah.
sure.
You'll find your winners, and then you just drive those home, and maybe it all wins. Who knows?
I think that regardless, this
Always.
process is a win-win because either it fails or it wins. If it fails, I still win because there's like so many things I learned.
That's an entrepreneur.
Like, are you
mindset
freaking
right
Yeah, and
me?
also you've helped so many people in the process. Like even if you don't,
Maybe
even
a
if you
few,
end
yeah.
up doing it for a little while and then that's it, you've helped a group of people that were interested
Hopefully.
that have a healthier lifestyle that are gonna be better long term. I mean, that's
Yeah.
great, and it's only gonna be useful for more things that you do later on.
Hopefully, yeah. That's the whole intent. Like the whole intent is to just get people to think longevity based for their outdoor hobbies.
Yeah.
Like I just need them to see the connection.
And I can
Okay.
tell by talking to you if you want it bad enough. Because I think we're both big believers in a business. Well, if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an
Oh
excuse.
yeah, definitely.
And so I don't think you can. Yeah, like you said, I don't think you can fail from this because you're just passionate about it all.
Yeah, in the process, I mean, I've learned so much from August till now. It's
Yeah.
like 10 years worth of what I've learned.
Yeah.
Like it's unpriced.
That's cool.
It's super underpriced. Like the process.
Yeah.
The process is so underpriced. Like everyone's putting
Yeah.
like the result. It's like, oh my god! And it's like the underpriced part, which
Mm-hmm.
like is the gold, is the freaking path to get to that.
Yeah.
And right now, when it's like super challenging for me to do like trademarking with lawyers and all this other stuff, I'm like reflecting back and I'm like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
Like
that-
if it was easy,
well, that's how it weeds out the people that can't do it. You know,
Possibly,
it's just
yeah.
the people that get to that point and they realize, I got to talk to trademark lawyers. All right, maybe, and then they stop.
I mean, it's a lot
right?
of steps.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps.
But man, it makes you appreciate it so much more.
Anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur or start their own business, you got to just do it. You got to just pick something out and do it. You're probably going to fail, maybe not, but just go do it. Try it out, learn a whole bunch from the process, refine that, try it again. Like it's just super critical to do that because there's so many people out there that want to and they're held back by I'm worried about it being successful. And oftentimes I think forget about that part.
The success is maybe looked at as like
It's too
being
important.
monetarily speaking, and I
Yeah,
think there's more success sometimes in the process.
Oh,
And I think
most
that's
definitely.
overlooked. And I think right now, during this time, if we haven't even got that out, I'm winning. Big.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Like
great.
there's a lot of winning that's occurring right now with this process.
Yeah.
Like it's super hard, and that's a huge win.
Yeah.
If this was easy
Yeah.
for me to get the bar out and like next week it's on the shelves, like cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want it to be like some adversity, and there's some
Yeah.
adversity. It's exactly what I want.
Your TED Talk's gonna be great.
Yeah.
No, I didn't sign up for a TED Talk. I don't
yet,
have that
not
much
yet,
to give.
not
I don't
yet.
have that
You
much
will.
to give.
They'll put the little mic
But-
on you.
Yeah.
I'm super excited, so we'll kind of see where it goes. And
Well, we're excited to be part of your journey. So
yeah, thank you.
yeah.
I get bowed down to you guys 1,000 times.
Oh,
Thank
well.
you guys so much for everything.
Yeah,
Hopefully
thanks.
you'll be seeing a lot more of us. Lyndon, thank you for joining us on our
Yeah.
first ever podcast.
Oh
for
yeah,
Part 5.
and anybody who's interested, go to anionoutdoors.com.
Yep, check them out.
Check it out.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.